What if I told you if the sodium hype isn't as cracked up as it's supposed to be? In a previous video, I used this post right here with this study along with a bunch of other ones that claim that sodium is going to help with hydration and performance. Question is, does sodium actually help with this? And with a lot of review, kind of answer is kind of. Sodium does two cool things. It helps balance your body through osmolarity. It makes you want to drink more by increasing the palatability and flavor of that drink. But the kicker here is that when it comes to performance or hydration, you don't need as much as some of these companies are pushing out. So far, looking at this literature right here, the sweet spot is anywhere between 300 to 600 milligrams with a carb solution of about 6 to 8%. There's a caveat to this. It's mainly going to be for individuals that are exercising for 2 hours plus, even more likely 4 hours plus, would entail more ultra endurance athletes or in very extreme heat conditions. Now, obviously, we're gonna have to look at a couple of studies to refute this point. For one, we're gonna look at this study right here that looked at the differences in performance and hydration benefits of non-alcoholic beer, and water. And at the end of the study, they saw that the non-alcoholic beer was the one that won, which is just stating that you don't need to be chugging a bunch of salt just to rehydrate or increase performance. And a little sodium does go a long way. Now, if you want to look at another study when it comes to the performance and hydration aspect, we could look at this one done by Juan del Cosa et al., where they looked at the common sports drinks that you typically find at a store: Gatorade, Powerade, Aquarius Orange, which is kind of like a Fanta, and then plain water. They found that these sports drinks aided in reducing body loss, improved maximum output. Kicker here is that included at the low sodium concentration drink, which was the Aquarius Orange, seemed to preclude a ergogenic effect because of the amount of sodium that was in this drink. So in other words, it's stating that we do need a little bit of sodium and carbs mixed together, but it doesn't have to be as high as you would think. And that going with a dose of at least 20 milligrams is going to be more than enough when you're mixing that carbohydrate alongside with it. If we continue this topic, Jukendru posted a great kind of diagram for you guys to look at right up here. They're showcasing a 6% carb drink with different levels of sodium. So there's like a high, medium, and large. And they concluded that even if you were to increase the dose of sodium provided, it doesn't really make a difference on performance or hydration. So more is really not better. And more importantly, factors like your sweat rate, your exercise intensity, your environmental conditions are going to play a bigger factor in what you actually need. If we continue with this, we can see that this graph right here, done by Jukendru, did not show any benefit in performance at all. Now, another study done by B. Sanders and colleagues did this on cyclists and runners, and they were riding or running for about 4 hours at 55% of their peak O2 intake. The study design went as follows. They gave cyclists or runners a 8% carb solution with different levels of electrolytes, a low, moderate, and high, and these range anywhere from 5 MEQs all the way up to 100 MEQs. Now, the conversion of what this is going to come up to is right here at the top of the screen. What did they end up concluding is that low to moderate doses helped maintain plasma volume. At higher doses increased the amount of sodium that were the extracellular fluid and did not show any benefit at all. And a big kicker here is they concluded at the end of the article that if you were to just match your sweat rate, it didn't really matter on what you were consuming, whether it be the low or moderate dose. These are on the higher athletes, ultra endurance athletes doing 4 hours plus of work. Now, with a lot of these studies adding up in the body of evidence, more is not better. And loading up with these electrolyte drinks are not really going to help you, and you don't need as much as you actually think. So if we were to wrap everything up and give some recommendations just on this topic alone, that if we look at just a normal intake of sodium for the day, we can see that the CDC, the FDA, and the NIH say that people are supposed to have anywhere from 2,300 milligrams a day, but most people will eat anywhere from 3 to 5 grams a day. So that would pretty much cover you for what you need. Most of the studies when we're looking at performance and hydration are going to be done in these, let's say, extreme conditions when you're taking other athletic performances as an example: baseball, football, soccer, MMA, jiu-jitsu. That preloading before the workout, especially when it comes to sodium, is not needed. In between your sessions, if you're doing multiple days, you're going to be completely fine with the food that you're going to be consuming. That individuals are going to need specific things for the individual sweat rates. So more of a reality check for some of the athletes is that most of your training is not going to be outdoors in hot extreme conditions unless you're an ultra endurance athlete. Most likely not going to be training at a higher intensity for 2+ hours a day. Many of the sessions are anywhere between 1 hour to 2 hours in a controlled environment, let's say 21 degrees of room temperature. That if you're eating your sodium rich foods in between your sessions or drinking a little bit of Gatorade because that's all you really need, you're going to be okay. And that the one size fits all protocol is really wrong, and this can vary from day by day and from athlete by athlete. And where a lot of the counter argument will come is, but I sweat a lot and I can taste the salt and I'm a sweaty person. Well, let's answer this question in the next video.